So now we're going to do the patch just to kind of smooth and do the transitions and everything. I just got a cheap little, actually dollar store set of spatulas. I got a dollar store spray bottle just filled with some tap water. And then we got the Drydex Spat Clean. What we do with this, get a glove out. And this basically, use a glove hand is the easiest way to do it. Let's get in those cracks and stuff. And actually, you know what? You don't even need to use the spatula. Just grab your glove. Like these areas right here, that's where those lines you can see. And these will take those, make the transition much more realistic. Then remember, we're going to do another coat on top of this of the Goop, which is a mixture of the acrylic caulking and PVA glue, water, and then some plaster, but I'm using some Tough Stone, which is a fiber reinforced plaster, which is really, really strong. And makes this stuff, gives a really hard shell. It's almost just indestructible after you put this on there. I'll put that on here. So I'm going to finish doing this. I'll show you the finished product. Oh, also the water bottle. If you want to just do some smoothing, just spray a little bit of water in there, and this stuff really, really reacts well with the water. And it'll smooth out for you, and you still keep that texture underneath. And it really helps it out. So that's going to be it for right now, and then we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for joining us. Well, there we have it. It is now got all the dry patch on it. Adds another layer of texture to it. So the next thing we're going to do when this dries, we'll add the Goop to it, which is, I told you that mixture earlier in the last section. And I'm going to add some tint to it, so it's a little bit darker. So it'll probably be a dark gray. And then we're going to airbrush it, much like the old display base over there. Sorry about that quick transition. And that is just the flocking on it's finished. So that's done. It turned out pretty nice. So it's going to be basically that theme, that road right there is going to be this base. Oops. So this is that little section of road. And it's a little more elevated to give it, a little height to it and a little more interest. And I might do a black rim on it. I'm not sure. We'll see how everything turns out. I'll let this dry, then sand it down, then Goop it and sand it again, then airbrush it real quick and do a little dry brushing on it. And I think I might add a skull and maybe a Space Marine helmet or two. Maybe just one helmet, one skull. I don't want to overdo it. And a little bit of that flocking, maybe just little patches of like some little growth of weed. And then maybe some, I never got to use that crackle stuff I bought, so I might use that on here too. Get these, in these grooves, some really cracked looking earth. So as usual, thank you for joining me, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Hey, we're back. We're going to start with the Goop mixture. Obviously, we have the dry patches all dry. We've got some new textures on here, and all the little seams between the different styrofoams is all filled in. I have a little cup filled with dry patch caulking, or sorry, dry patch caulking. This is the acrylic latex caulking by DAP, and I just filled that up, and I'm going to grab my huge bottle of Elmer's Glue PVA. And I'm going to fill that up with equal amounts. And just eyeballing all of it. And that is close enough. Stir that up. Got some caulking on the sides, just get it all together. Then also, I like adding color to it, or colorization. This is by Smooth On, all the molding and casting stuff a lot of people use. Their Smooth On Corporation. You can see that. This is called their So Strong Black Tint. I'm just going to add a drop of that. You can see that in there. It's just a tiny, tiny drop. Then just stir that in. You can see instant color change. So now that's really incorporated. Okay, then I'm going to hit it with some water. This is just plain water in a dollar store spray bottle. With some moisture in there. And that's, yeah, it's really got it. Lost its viscosity now, so it's really kind of runny. And then this is Toughstone, spelled T-U-F. It's a plaster or gypsum cement that's fiber reinforced, and there's a couple scoops in there. Get that incorporated. And it already gives it a little bit of texture. You can add sand to this if you want, but I want to control what this looks like. So I want the, I don't want a bunch of big rocks and stuff on it until I want to do that myself. And later on, I'm going to sprinkle some play sand in certain areas, and then we'll spray that with PVA glue and get that down. And, or actually, we can even, when this is wet, we can sprinkle some of the areas that'll help it, and then reinforce it with PVA glue later. So we got that all mixed together pretty well. And I'm just going to slap the stuff on now. It's got a spatula. And a cheap paintbrush I can rinse out real quick. If it doesn't survive, there's no big deal either. I get these at Harbor Freight, and I think they're like 59 cents or something like that. Kind of goes on like a loose icing, I guess. And when we're done here, we take it on my deck in the sun so it cures faster, and then we can airbrush it and get that done. So I'm going to finish doing this real quick. I'll be back, show you what we do with the sand, and see you in the next one. Thanks. We got a nice coat going now. Also, beware with these little cheaper brushes. They like to shed, so they're like leaving behind those large bristles. So you don't want that stuck to your model or your display base or whatever you're doing. Make sure you're just getting these little edges on the bottom so it's all coated. And also, you can use the brush to add a little bit of extra texture if you want it. Stuff smooths out pretty nicely on its own. Just add some more interest that way. And then I'm just going to take some, this is just regular play sand, and just kind of randomly sprinkle it on there. Areas where you think there are little pebbles and rocks to be loose in the desert. And that is it. I think we're done. We'll take this upstairs, get it dry, and we'll show it to you when we're done. And I don't know if we're going to have to do PVA on it afterwards. I think I'll just hit it with some primer. Dark gray or black primer. And that is it. So, oops, sorry about that. The camera went out of... Just basically sprinkled the sand on, and that is it. Sorry about wasting your time with that. This tripod gets kind of its own personality once in a while, especially pointing down low like that. So that is it for right now, and like I said, I'll take this upstairs, get it to dry, and then we'll show it to you when it's done, and we'll hit it with a primer, then airbrush it, add a couple little other details, and that's it. Thanks for joining us.